Hey, how's it going, everyone? What is up? Welcome back to the channel and your daily dose of Mortal Kombat 11 news leaks and discussions. Today we're going to be talking about an interview that Boon did with Wired very recently, discussing and explaining all of the MK11 friendships in the game. In this interview, he talked about the future, or lack thereof, of MK11, giving some very finalized statements on DLC. Today we're going to be breaking that down in about 10 seconds. If you don't care to hit that subscribe button, like the video, and leave me a comment down below, let me know what you think about all of this. With that out of the way, let's go ahead and jump into this one. So Boon did this interview a few days ago with Wired, as I said, discussing and explaining all of the friendships in Mortal Kombat 11. He discussed the DLC that we've had recently, and mainly where this discussion comes from, where this video comes from, is how he was talking about the guest character DLC in the game. He was talking about RoboCop, the 80s action hero stars, you know, RoboCop, Terminator, Rambo. And the weird thing about it is, the statement that really threw everybody off and is making everyone really question whether this is the end of Mortal Kombat 11 or not, is the fact that he talked about Rambo, and how Rambo bookends the, you know, guest characters, the 80s action stars for Mortal Kombat 11. Now, that is a very finalized statement, and that's pretty much verbatim from Mr. Boon himself. It's a very scary statement, because if that book ends the 80s action heroes for Mortal Kombat 11, as you guys know, that has been the main theme for guest characters in Mortal Kombat 11. We've gotten these 80s action heroes. In Mortal Kombat X, it was horror characters with Leatherface, Alien, Predator, and Jason, and once they bookended that DLC guest character list with, I believe it was, who was it, Leatherface or Alien? With those two characters together in Combat Pack 2, that was the end of the DLC. That was the end of the Combat Packs. That was Combat Pack 2. So if Rambo is actually book-ending the MK11 guest character list, would that not mean that the DLC is done? We are done receiving Combat Packs. We're done receiving characters. It's a very scary thought, but I have at least a half of an explanation for you guys, because we really have to look at everything that we've found so far, whether it be the data miners, whether it be official statements from NRS developers, this, that, and the other. There is really a lot there. There is so much there pointing at more DLC. Not only has there been data mines that have found Combat Pack 1, 2, and 3, and that was back when Combat Pack 1 came out, leaks that seem halfway believable, but we don't really go off of leaks. Official statements from NRS devs showing that more should come, or 5 unknown, not guest characters, but 5 unknown DLC character slots in the data files that are actually still there. Along with Mr. Boon himself giving a statement in an interview, it was either last year or this year, saying that there would be no more full moveset characters in the story mode that did not become playable characters in Mortal Kombat 11. There's so much there showing that there will be more DLC, or there should be more DLC, and I have an explanation for you guys, or at least a half of one, at the very least. So here's my thought. There's going to be no more guest characters. There's been so much uproar, especially in MK11 when it comes to guest characters, and how many there are, and the fact that there's a guest character in every combat pack. While I don't really care, and I don't mind guest characters whatsoever, I think they bring in a bigger player base. I think they get people who wouldn't normally play the game to actually play the game, and increase our player size on Mortal Kombat 11, so we're never bored. We always have someone to play with. I think guest characters are great. But with the backlash of the guest characters and the Mortal Kombat base fan base, you know, the guys that have been around forever or have been around since MK9 or MKX and really just don't care for these guest characters, fair enough. There's been a lot of blowback from people like that, so maybe they're going to do something different with this upcoming combat pack, if there is one, this hypothetical combat pack that could be coming. They could possibly not be adding a guest character whatsoever and stick with base MK characters, or maybe even a DC guest character. That would make a lot of sense, seeing as Joker is already a guest character in Mortal Kombat 11, and it would make sense as what they did with Injustice 2. They added 2 Mortal Kombat characters as guests to Injustice 2. So it makes sense to have another DC guest come to MK11. So what I was thinking is, we've been talking about it for a while, and I'll actually make a full video talking about this. Sectoring Cyrax could definitely come as free DLC. Why would you have to pay for 2 characters that are already in the game and pretty much have full movesets? That is my question. But they kind of did that with Tanya and MKX, so I mean, that one can kind of be explained away. But regardless, free or not, Sectoring Cyrax should be coming to MK11. There's 2 of the 5 unknown guest characters right there. Or not guest characters, but unknown data mine characters right there. And then we have the other 3 characters to handle. Well, 2 of those, as in Combat Pack 2, could be Mortal Kombat characters. That would make a lot of sense. Maybe Smoke, maybe Ermac, maybe Reptile, maybe Astra or Natara, one of those characters, Havoc. 2 of those could be Mortal Kombat characters. And then the last character to be added to the game could definitely be a DC character, like Scarecrow or Deathstroke or Red Hood. We've known for a little bit, of course, in Injustice 2, that they like their crossovers now, and they will take their crossover characters that are allowed to be in each game and run with it. I definitely think this is a big opportunity, and what they're probably going to do if there's another combat pack, to add another DC guest character into MK11, and I don't know why they would be using these finalized words, making us feel like that the game is done and over, when there's just so much to the contrary. I wish they would outright say this is the end of the game if it is the end of the game, but with this being the end of the 80s action heroes guest characters, I definitely think the other route that they would go to keep the DLC coming, which in my opinion is what they're doing, would be to add a DC guest character, 2 MK characters, and all like add Sectoring Cyrax like we've all been assuming they're going to do. That is just my thoughts, my opinions. I've been added about this for the past 3 or 4 days, and I'm just getting around to making a video about it, unfortunately. After about the 5th Twitter ad in the past 2 days, and that happening about an hour ago, I was like, fuck it, I'll talk about it. I want to know what you guys think about this in the comments down below. This is very, very weird, very scary, and very final, especially coming from the co-creator of Mortal Kombat at Boon. I just wish they'd stop using these finalized words like all 37 characters, complete edition, unless they were going to come out and outright say, we hope you enjoy Mortal Kombat 11, it's in its final state, there will be no more added. I wish they could just give us some closure if it is done, and if it's not, stop making us feel like it's so over and done. That's just my opinion. I love the game. I want to see it keep going. I want to know what you guys think, again, down below. Let me know what you think about all of this. I'm very interested to hear what you have to say. If you would like to support the channel, link in the description down below to our Patreon. One of the best ways to support the channel besides that join button beside the subscribe button. Huge shout out to Ricky Laughlin, Frank the Tank H2O, The Thinny, and MasterVex PC for either supporting here on YouTube or on Patreon. And major shout out to Frank and Ricky for supporting on both platforms. You guys are legends. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. My name is Tooten. I've been your host, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace out.